Hello, my name is Joshua. I go to the Community College of Denver. I'm going for mechanical engineering, and I'm currently on my 4th semester. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about drone theory, and we're going to jump straight into drone theory. So let's go. What is drone theory? Drone theory is just the science behind drones and basically how drones work. And with that information, let's get straight into it. So usually, when you are talking about drone, you need something called a frame, and that's usually like what everything is like mounted to, like the motors, the electric speed controller, etc. Like you're gonna be having a lot of those, and a frame is usually 3D printed and usually carbon fiber, especially if you go a lot into like drone racing and you do dive deeper into this video and watch like a lot of other videos. You're gonna see like a lot of the drones and frames like that are gonna be made out of carbon fiber and things like that. So let's just put this on the board real quick. And this is the frame, don't forget that. I'll put it right here. Perfect. Can you guys see that? Perfect, okay. So after you got the frame, of course, you always need motors. So there's 2 types of motors we're gonna be working with, is brush and brushless, but mainly for drones, especially since we're gonna be doing drone theory, and we're gonna be working a lot with quadcopters. Since we're using quadcopters, we're gonna use brushless, and brushless are gonna benefit us a lot in the future since we're using brushless motors, and that's gonna play a big part later down. But what's it called? There's a lot of kinds of different motors, keep that in mind, but the ones we're interested in are the brushless motors, so don't forget about that. You need brushless motors, those are big and important. So put that on the board too. Yeah. So right now we got the frame body and we got the brushless motors. And then after you got the brushless motors, you need something to control it, like how fast it goes, how slow it goes, things like that. You need something to control it. That's a necessary. And the something to control it, it's called a flight controller, or FC for short, flight controller. And for the flight controller, it's just like I was explaining before, it's just to control the motors on the brushless motor, of course. So when you're turning the propeller on the quadcopter, the propeller is going to turn, and the motors are pushing power through the propeller, so the propellers could turn, and that's what the brushless motor is for. And then the flight controller is for, you connect the flight controller, or not the flight controller, the electric speed controller. Scrap what I was just saying about the flight controller, the FC, scrap that, I'm jumping ahead of myself. We should be talking about the electric speed controller, and with the electric speed controller, it changes the speed of the motor, so it can go fast, slow, and basically you can control it. And that's what the electric speed controller is, or ESC for short. So scrap what I just said about the flight controller, and it's called the electric speed controller, and the electric speed controller is the one that lets you change the speed of the motor, and that's the electric speed controller, or ESC. And after you got the ESC, the electric speed controller, and there's also like different ones. This is like another one. Oh wait. I'm confusing you guys because I'm confusing myself, but I'm not confusing myself. Oh wait. Okay, fault. Electric speed controller. I'm throwing at it. This is the power distribution board, and basically what the power distribution board does, it feeds power to the electric speed controller, to the motor, so the propellers could spin. Because if you don't have the power distribution board, then that means there's no power going anywhere, so you need the power distribution board, like you need the rest of this. The power distribution board, it is a must. You need it. And I don't have a picture here, but usually with the power distribution board, you're gonna have a battery, and the battery is going to be connected okay, so right now, because it's the first video, it's like bare bones, but usually black is negative and red is positive. So when you see a pad, it's negative, and a red one is positive, so that's when you connect it to. And when I say connect, anytime I say connect, I just mean soldering, but you don't have to like really worry about the word soldering for now, because that's like later. And later in, I will show you how to like design a frame, and like I'll show you how to design a frame on SolidWorks. Computer-aided design is just another way of saying CAD, computer-aided design is just SolidWorks. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to make a power distribution board also, and I will also show you how to make a flight controller and CAD, CAD, but I'll show you how to make the frame body in a later video. But right now, we're just gonna stay to the bare bones of like soldering and how a drone basically flies. You don't even gotta like worry about like how the motors work and like things like that. Just the bare bones of how a drone flies. So yeah. With that information, I'm gonna draw the drone. We're just gonna jump straight into it. So don't mind my handwriting. It's terrible. That's besides the point. Alright. So we're gonna be like something like this. Like a circle. Same thing down here. A circle. 2 more times. Perfect. Okay, so this is our lovely drone. Best drone in the market. So, like I was saying before, with the drone, you need 4 motors. The motors are a must. So I'm gonna put the motors here. 1 motor. 2 motors. 3 motors. And the 4th motor. Bam. Okay. And usually with the electric speed controllers, I'm just gonna take it because you usually want to save as much room as you can in the body because usually the body's really small and there's not a lot of room. So usually the electric speed controller will get taped onto the rings, but I only got 1. But also for electric speed controller, there's something called a 4-in-1 electric speed controller. So if you really wanted to, you could like mount it to the like towards the top or on a wing, because on an electric speed controller you usually have 4, but in a 4-in-1 electric speed controller, you only need 1 and it will control all 4 motors. But if you don't have a 4-in-1, then of course you're gonna need 4 electric speed controllers. But yeah, we'll just say this is a 4-in-1, but it's clearly not, but we'll just say it is. And we'll put it right there at the top. So we have 4 motors, the electric speed controller, but there's no way for the electric speed controller to turn the motors because there's no power. So let's get the power distribution board and place it in the center. So now we got power going to the electric speed controller, which is going to the motors. So we got it to spin. So great, now we literally got a drone working, but not quite yet. I kind of lied to you. You don't got a drone working because you still need all the wires, kind of like these. These wires are great. You'll see a lot of these in drones, especially if you go deeper down into it. And yeah, so a lot of wires are gonna be connected to this. So if you watch like YouTube videos and things like that, you might see like drones with like a spaghetti noodle mess of just like wires, but it's really not that complicated. But yeah, so what I was saying, this is not the finished product. You're gonna need a lot of, well, not a lot of wires, but you're gonna need some wires. But I'm not gonna really put wires here because I don't have the wires with me. But and this is for the battery. So if you have the battery, you would use this for the battery. And yeah, so I'm just gonna act like if we did have soldering, but what's it called? So the motors would get soldered to the electric speed controller. The electric speed controller would get soldered to the power distribution board. So all these are getting soldered to all the motors are getting soldered to the ESC. And the ESC is the electric speed controller. Oh, this keeps falling. Don't like that. Okay. Fix it. But yeah. And then also you will need a radio transmitter, which is just a controller, and a radio transmitter and a receiver, which is just a controller and a receiver. But nowadays, if you know how to like code and things like that, which I will get that later down in the video, coding a software app so you don't have to use a controller, you could just use it on your phone and Samsung and so on, etc. But what's it called? With a transmitter, you need a controller and a transmitter to receive inputs from your electric speed controller, so that's like how you know how fast and slow it goes and things like that. And then so this is literally the brain of the drone, and it's called the FC, and that was the thing I was talking about earlier, and I was getting ahead of myself, and I'm happy I caught on to that because that would have been a big mistake if I didn't. So this is the flight controller, and the flight controller goes usually on the center, and the flight controller is basically like, think of what I think of it as is like a mini pilot. So like basically like somebody controlling it. It's like the brain. That's literally what the flight controller does. It literally sends signals to everything else, and usually it's on top of like Usually you will have a mount for the electric speed controller, and then you will mount the, what's it called, FC on top, the flight controller on top. And also, in this one, I don't have it, but usually on the drone, you will have like an antenna. Also on the remote, you would have like an antenna, but now you don't really need it as much, especially on the controller, but definitely on the drone, yeah, it's important, plays a big part. Still yeah, that's pretty much it for episode 1, but in the next episode, we're gonna dive very deep into like actually soldering this, building it, getting the drone, and I'm gonna show you my design I made in SolidWorks for you guys. I'm gonna order all the parts, I'll list all the parts in the description. I will solder it, of course. I'll put all of it together. The screws, I will show you how I made the screws, where I got the propellers, and all that. And also, I'll show you websites and things like that if you want to buy it in bulk. So if you ever want to like mass produce and maybe start a company, who knows? And yeah, thank you. My name is Joshua. Once again, go to the Community College of Denver, mechanical engineering student. And yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. And in the next video, we'll get this bad boy working. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.